It is now time for the Very Meal Experience. So, we'll just go over a few things. Our normal little routine in the beginning of this show. We'll tell you what is going on in the community and what we have to look forward to throughout the week. So, our friend Shar over at Talk Bari to Me, she has a code for the Obesity Help 2025 National Conference. That is happening October 17th to the 18th in Irvine, California. 2 days of support, education, and meaningful connections. A ton of sponsors over there like Protein, Premier Protein, Bariatric Fusion, Bare Bones, Audacious Nutrition, Celebrate Vitamins, Legendary Foods, and our friends over at ProCare Health. And you can save yourself $20 by using code BSGBestie20. Don't forget that our friends over at You're not helping me here. You're not going to finish my sentence?
What's up?
I thought you were going to finish my sentence. You look like you wanted to say something.
Oh, no. I like hearing you talk. I was adjusting my strap. It was cutting into my neck.
Oh, boy. Don't forget that Bariatric Retreat is also going on in October. What are the dates for that one?
That one is October 6th through this. I got to look at it again. I knew I was going out there early. I was going out there October 1st through October 5th. So it's October 2nd through October 5th.
All right. And I know that Drew has a code, and you can save yourself some money if you use code Drew. So those two things are going on in October with the bariatric community. What we have going on during the week, we will cover. Don't forget that Talk Bari to Me with our friend BSG Bestie is live every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific. She also has a Talk Bari to Me coaching corner that she hosts every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. Don't forget that Bari Mother has a Water Check Wednesday, 7:15 Eastern, 6:15 Central, 5:15 Pacific, 5:15 Mountain, 4:15 Pacific. Our friends over at the Waiting Table go live at 8:30 with their happy hour, half hour. And then they are live on IG and YT from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And they always got something great going on over there. So, and we have a little surprise for you today from the Waiting Table. Don't forget that every Thursday, Mel Unfiltered is on at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, and 6 p.m. Pacific. Bariatric Bubba is live with the Bariatric Lock-In on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, all the way to 5 p.m. Pacific. And our friends over at Love After Bariatrics, I think they are finding their home and settling in on Sunday nights after Talk Bari to Me at 9 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Oh my God, this is tough. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central,
Pacific,
7 p.m. Mountain, and 6 p.m. Pacific. That hour difference just screws me up.
Yeah.
Make it flow.
Like, that's past my bedtime, so I don't know what time zones are.
Past my bedtime because I got work the next day.
Exactly.
Who are we kidding? We all know I stay up to midnight and then get up at 4.
Hey, I'm waiting. We got Friday Night Lives coming back soon too.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Friday Night Lives come back in August with our friends Drew and Arisa. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Mountain, and 7 p.m. Pacific. You are screwing me up.
How am I screwing you up, Tony?
You know what?
So you got to make sure you write these on your notes.
Actually, you know what the worst thing is? It's written down in my notes. I just stopped looking at the card. Don't forget, if you haven't taken your vitamin, take your vitamins. I am taking my calcium chew every Tuesday night like I usually do. I am taking the ProCare vitamin mocktails. And again, I don't know why every time I reach into this bag, this is a variety bag, and every week I reach out and grab a goddamn gin and tonic.
Because you probably eaten all the other ones already, like I did.
No, I don't grab them randomly like that.
Yeah, I need to put myself on that list where they can send it to me every month because I got to order some more, and I keep on forgetting to go on there and order my stuff.
And if you need to order them and you'd like a discount, you can use code BLD for 15% off all of your Pro Care bariatric needs and anything else you have going on in your wellness journey.
So who do we got coming on live with us this week, Tony?
So we actually had to pivot this week, and we had an outstanding gentleman, someone that needs no introduction in this community, step up and help us out tonight and bail us out. But it's actually a great thing because what he has going on in this community is so awesome, and I can't. And the fact that we get to highlight it tonight excites me because I'm actually a part of this. So I'm going to bring our guest up. And it's not the waiting table, but it is a member of the waiting table.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Guys? Good. How's everyone?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. No, yeah, I didn't bail you guys out. I love being this. This is when you asked me, I'm like, oh my God, yes, I get to come on. I know that. Yeah, you know that guy. You tattooed right here. I had a boob tattoo here at JBY. Yeah, you guys know me. How are you guys?
Up forever. I think.
Yep.
Don't forget the D fanboying down there.
Yep. D is my ultimate fanboy. D is my ultimate fanboy. I appreciate it, D. I miss you. I told him before the bariatric the soiree, I was just like, dude, I need to see you. I feel like I'm having D withdrawal. I was just like, I need to see this face here. Come on now. I can't be his roommate and then just not see him. It felt wrong. So.
And I heard you
guys.
When you're surrounded by that much energy.
Sorry, what was that, E?
I heard you were the perfect roommate.
You know what? I feel like I'm a good roommate. I will make sure you are on time, but I also will make sure that you don't go to bed early. I will make sure that you get up and go to the gym on 3 hours of sleep, and you will be the last person back home. It's Rob's schedule, unfortunately, for anyone who is sharing a room or a house or anything like that with me. So beware, you've been warned.
Roomie for life, he says.
Yeah. I will not room with anyone else. Just D.
Just D?
Just D. And I always have, I feel getting dressed for events and evenings with D in the room with me, I always felt like it was an elevated experience, right? Like I felt like I had to step up because I'd look over at D and he's in like a daishiki and stuff. I'm like, shit. I need to.
That's me. I feel too basic getting dressed with D. I'd be like, my outfit sucks. I don't want to go no more.
Right?
The fact that D says that you need to coordinate your workout outfit, I'm already out of. He's already out of my league.
There's coordinating
it was
the workout
great.
outfit?
I feel like I would
Oh,
show
yeah.
a t-shirt and shorts, and I would be judged.
No, you wouldn't be. He would cheer you on. He'd be there for you, but you would go in. You're just like, shit. This guy is next level. Like everything's matching and shit. I'm like, all right.
I feel like there would be extra reps involved for the fact that I chose the wrong t-shirt or the wrong shorts.
Yeah. He's the ultimate trainer. It's just like every fashion faux pas. It's more another set.
You gotta look good when you're ripped, right?
He said the outfit selection is half the battle.
I 100% agree with him. I 100%. I'll do the lifting. You look awesome, and then combined, like we're like Transformers. Combined, we will be awesome. But you get that, and we're good.
Voltron. That's what it is.
Yeah, Voltron,
Power
exactly. Oh
But
shit!
but I do hear it's look good, lift good. You can lift an extra
Look
10 pounds
good,
by
lift
dressing right.
good. 100%, 100%. I 100% agree with that. You look good. It doesn't even matter in your head. I'm lifting all the weight in the gym if I look good. I don't, and then it's just like in my head. I hear like that Ozzy Osbourne song going. I'm like, I'm like killing it, and then zoom out and it's me with the fives. But it doesn't matter because in here, I'm killing it, right?
You're like, I'm getting a pump. Yeah.
Right. That's it.
So, for everyone that's in this live and for other people in this community, again, I don't think you need any introduction. I think everyone knows who you are. But for a lot of people in this community, hey, it's Rob from the waiting table. But you're more than just Rob from the waiting table. And for people that don't know, Rob is a championship bodybuilder, a 3-time championship bodybuilder. So could you enlighten us on the championships that you have come into possession with within the last, like, what is it, 3 years?
1 year, actually. It's been like 1 year that everything has happened.
Yes, clean and hard.
You know, it's crazy though, because JBY was really where it all started, because the last JBY, I had the opportunity to meet Dee. That's when I met Dee for the first time. That's when I met Alicia. That's when I met Rob Motivation. And, you know, speaking with everyone and seeing all that they've done. And I was looking at that male sort of fitness award, and I was just like I've worked really hard. And prior to bodybuilding, every year for me, it would be like, okay, what's my next challenge? So it was like triathlon. It was like endurance cycling. Then it was pickleball. And then it was sort of like, okay, well, why can't I do this? Right? Like I see these other people in our bariatric community who've done something like this. And it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. But I was like, I'm never going to do this. But I'm like, why not? Right? And so then I sort of announced it that I was going to do it. And I just started training for it. And then last June was the Radical Body Transformations. At that time, there was 2 divisions. Fit and lifestyle division, and I, you know, thankfully I was able to win both divisions the same night. And then I ended up doing a show in October that qualified me for world championships for another federation called UFE, which was in November, and I won world championships for transformation. And then this past this past RBT in June, they created a new division, and they had asked me if I would come back to compete. And I said, you know, I would compete if we had another division where we can sort of compete against other champions. And, you know, and they created this open division called the Absolute division. It's the only division I was allowed to compete in, because if you win a division, you're only allowed to compete in ones you didn't. Amazing transformations, amazing competitors, amazing people, really just being there to hear the stories and what everyone has been able to overcome. But I was able to win first place, or win the show for the Open Absolute division. And so I am officially retired from Radical Body Transformations, because I have no more divisions to compete in, because my wife will not compete with me in the couples division. But yeah, there's a couples division. They just announced it. They sure do. So yeah, they just announced it, and I was just like, I asked my wife. She was like, "You married the wrong woman." I'm like, "Yeah, I did," and and I told James this, and James was like, and I even in the chat for the RBT, I'm just like, "Does anyone want to rent me for like, you know, a couple months in June? Like we can create a cutoff with my wife, and then we'll just, you know, we'll do something." But no, but yeah, no, the best part about it is I still don't have to step away from that, because I started what's called Trans4m Bariatric Bodybuilding, which is my coaching service that works specifically with people in our community who want to compete in transformation competitions or in bodybuilding, because we're different, right? We have different anatomies now. We have different limitations. We have different mental and emotional traumas that we need to work through. And unfortunately, a lot of other coaches just don't get it, right? It's a lot of, oh, you're not trying hard enough, or, oh, just eat this, eat this, eat this. We can't. Like, I tried. I can't. And so I pride myself on my understanding of our condition and our disease of obesity and what we've had to fight through to get to where we are and be able to provide the best service for our community in regards to that.
Now, one thing you did say that that a lot of other coaches will tell you to eat this, eat this, eat this, not knowing what it is like being a bariatric person who can't eat that much food. Now, when it comes to the food part too, you always hear coming out of surgery, 90 grams of protein, 90 grams of protein. That doesn't matter if you're 5 foot tall or 6'5" like me. What's your take on that too for someone like me who is a bigger guy?
Sure.
And trying to gain muscle, because I know when I was working out, I was having that trouble of gaining muscle because I wasn't eating enough and I was following that standard of 90 grams of protein, 90 grams of protein, no more than 900 calories of food. Is that something that's got to do no matter what, or is that more of a myth of this is what they want you to do because they're not wanting to take the time to help each individual? And is that what you're willing to do with the people in the bariatric community to help them get to more of the results that they're looking for because you have more time to do it than a doctor who sees us as a number?
Right. And this is a great question because this is probably the biggest question or the biggest struggle people will have. And I think with almost every single person I've worked with, and we're sending 15 to 20 people to RBT next year, next June. So our bariatric community, I've said in posts, I've said to James that we're bringing an army from our bariatric community. We literally are. But this is the challenge that all of us have because this is what we were taught. This is what we were taught by our medical team. The thing is, and I think what we need to realize is when we have bariatric surgery, the goal of bariatric surgery is not for us to lose fat. It's for us to lose weight because our body, our systems, our organs are taxed, very, very taxed. And in order to alleviate a lot of the stress on those organs and our bodily systems, we need to be lighter in general. A lot of our different comorbidities, whether it's diabetes, whether it's cholesterol, whether it's sleep apnea, whether it's hypertension, we know one of the best medications for that or best treatments for that is simply just to lose weight. The thing is, once we get to a certain point, we are just like everyone else in the sense that when we're exercising, we still have the same requirements, right? I'm not working out any less intense than someone who didn't have surgery. My goals aren't different because my goals to put on muscle mass is not different than someone who didn't have surgery. So my requirements are almost the same as them. It's now a matter of how do we... Sorry, I had a call from Diabetes Canada right there. They heard me. They're like, oh, shoot, this is the best time to call. The challenge with us is learning, okay, well, how do we navigate our limitations? So the first thing that will always happen, and Tony can attest to this,
Yes,
is I will try to educate people on the fact that when I create your nutrition plan, I explain that your basal metabolic rate based on your overall weight, which is the amount of calories you would burn if you were in a coma, just lying there, is at a certain amount, and that's based on your age, your height, your weight. So as you were saying, E, if you are a bigger guy, you burn a crap load of calories just doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're supposed to create a deficit. And so if anyone knows Arthur is one of my clients. He competed. He won gold in his division at RBT. He had been working out for about a year, and his weight did not move for pretty much that whole time. And so when I had been talking to him, when he first reached out to me, he was at like 1,400 calories. And I said to him, I'm like, and I explained the same thing. The way I see it is your body is in starvation mode. Our body is like the most amazing machine out there, right? It's trying to work efficiently. Machines are trying to work efficiently. But if you give your car the shittiest gas, it's not going to work efficiently, or the shittiest oil or whatever, right? And so if we're not feeding our bodies, it's not going to work efficiently. So when, with Arthur, I said right off the bat, can I guess that one, you are not sleeping well, your strength's going down, the scale's not moving, you have like very poor energy. And he's like, this is describing me to a T. And I said, can you trust me for 2 weeks? And he's like, yes. I'm like, I'd like you to eat 1,000 more calories than you're eating right now. And he's like, right? Because you tell a bariatric patient, hey, I want you to eat 1,000 more calories. And the first thing we say is like, oh my God, I'm going to regain everything, right? But based on his weight, based on his body mass, he was severely underfed. And so once he started upping his calories by that, and he couldn't do 1,000, there was a mental hurdle, and I get it. But he did 800. Right away, his body started losing body fat. Right away. And this happens to every single person I work with. And his dietitian actually said to him, I apologize that I didn't serve you better. And the challenge is for her program, and she didn't serve him poorly, but her specialty is the bariatric program. And at that time, that advice coincides with what the goal is medically. But we're not that person anymore, right? We are not. And so we need to feed ourselves based on our goals and what we want to do. Yeah. Sorry, very long-winded answer. I talk so much. Sorry, guys.
It's the best answer because, again, I found out very quickly over the course of like a week where it was like, okay, I need to trust you, because when I saw the numbers, I was like, how am I going to do this? I'm like, this is insane. How am I going to put 2,200 calories into me and like feed myself and sustain like not being hungry and not having those hunger pains at the end of the night? And all of a sudden, like, I watched the scale move down for the first time in God knows how long. And I was like, oh my God, he's right. Because I'm like, I'm supposed to be eating 1,200 calories according to my doctor. I'm like, oh my God, well, I'm like, he's wrong. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and it's just funny. And the funny thing is I wasn't hitting all of my goals. I was hitting specific goals, but I wasn't hitting all of the criteria that, Rob was asking me. So I can only imagine of like what's going to happen when I'm actually able to put all of it together. And it's having that trust. I'm like, that trust is now gained because I had to get past the mental hurdle of this makes no sense. I'm like, this is the most insane thing I've ever heard. My mind is blown, and I'm like, everything that it's unlearning everything we've been taught again.
Yeah.
Because we had to do that with bariatric surgery. We had to unlearn everything.
That's the thing.
Culture. And now all of a sudden, I'm unlearning everything I've learned from bariatric surgery. And it's another thing, but.
And I think that's where a lot of fears of people who are possibly interested in bariatric surgery thing comes from, is they see a lot of people who have bariatric surgery and they say, oh, they look sickly. They don't look like, they almost look like they're the D word. And that's because there's a lot of times we're so malnutritioned, and because we're not eating correctly the way we should be eating, because we're so fearful of, oh, we lost all this weight, because all of us can contest to it here. After having the surgery, the weight fell off like it was nothing. I didn't have to do nothing. The weight was falling off pretty much. But as you get further and further along, it becomes less and less, and more weight gets put back on. We start trying new things, and we are so fearful of, we've been told our whole life that you just eat too much. That is your problem. That no one really looks into the food science itself and how to correctly eat when it comes to being a bariatric patient. I always told myself after having bariatric surgery is I wanted to start lifting as quickly as possible, because I know how hard it is to gain muscle being a bariatric patient. And I want, if you can, talk about that. How hard was it to gain muscle and build muscle, being a bariatric patient, being malnutrition, being in such a deficit? How hard is it to build muscle in our condition?
Yeah, and so let me preface this with one of the experiences that I've had competing. So, I've won 4 times, well, 4 divisions, and almost every single time people say that I cheated because I had bariatric surgery. And that's been my experience. Whether it's directly to me, whether it's to the organizers, whether it's on social media, whether it's whatever. And people sort of jump up and in anger, and I get it. But this is sort of the way I put it. I didn't have bariatric surgery to win a transformation competition. I had it to save my life, right? And it got me, and I did a post where it got me to around the same weight that I was, at my lowest, which is around high 160s, but I was skin and bones and I looked sick. And I remember people telling me, like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, yeah, I'm awesome, because we are awesome. I used to be 400 pounds. Now here I am at 160. I'm like, this is amazing. And then you look at pictures and I was like, yeah, I understand why you asked that. And in my post, I said, this would not have won a competition. This is not what healthy looks like in my eyes, right? And my suggestion to people are, if you can lose slower, because as much as we say our body makes the decision, no, I did a lot of endurance cycling to try to lose faster, and I just burned off all my muscle. And if you can find a way to slow it down, make sure you eat. And I've been talking with someone who's 6 months post-op, and maintain that, because as you had said, it's way harder to put on muscle, because it is math, right? If you want to lose tissue, whether it's fat or muscle, you need to be in a deficit. If you want to put on tissue, whether it's fat or muscle, hopefully muscle, you need to be in a surplus. So take you, for example, you had mentioned, same example that we were talking about earlier. If you're a bigger person and your basal metabolic rate is 2,500, then I'm going to have you eating 2,700 calories. Like for me, in my lean bulk, I'm eating 3,400 calories. So what does that look like for a bariatric patient? It is significantly harder than someone else. So when people say I cheated, for me to put on muscle, do you know how much work it is? It's a lot. And so it is, yes, am I eating every 3 hours? No, I was eating every 1.5 to 2 hours, right? Talk about mental hurdles. I was eating 400 grams of carbs, right? And so, every single person, and Tony can attest to this, when I do my check-ins and I'm just like, so I see that you got your protein and your water in check, because that's what we were all told. That's what everyone's doing, right? And every single person, I'm like, all right, let's work on getting lower protein. They're like, what? Lower protein? I'm like, yeah, because that's what they suggested, but we need to balance things out, right? Because protein and carbs are the exact same calories. If I'm trying to get you to a deficit, I would rather give you the energy in carbohydrates if you're already hitting your minimum protein or your protein goal, right? There's no other benefit to it. So let's put that into carbs, get you energy. It's not going to make you fat. It's not going to do all those other things that we're scared of it doing. And you're still going to be in your deficit, right? And so it's just a matter of adjusting how we get our intake, right? And it's going to change over time. Like if you're close to a competition and you're hungry, then I will change a lot of your carbohydrates into slower sources. So it's going to be a lot of veggies, a lot of fiber, a lot of whole protein instead of shakes. At this point, I live on, I have 2 or 3 shakes a day, or put in my food, because that's how I get my 200 grams of protein.
And
right? There's nothing wrong with that.
And that was going to be my next question was, being a bariatric patient, is it okay to supplement some of your meals with protein shakes or other sources of protein to get more of those calories in and more of those good proteins? Because I know they tell us, also being bariatric, you don't want to necessarily only drink your protein and only drink your calories, because you're going to burn through it a lot quicker and feel a lot hungrier. So it's okay to supplement with these things as almost like your snacks.
Yeah, 100%. So and I always like adding them to food. So you are getting more of that filling type of meal, but you're also getting the protein source. So I use what's called foundational meals in my programs. And I find that this is the easiest way for people. I want people to learn. Like I say that my goal with working with you is for you to never work with me after the show. Why? Is because I want you to know, I want you to learn. This is a learning process. So once the show is done, you move forward, but you know everything, right? And so it's just a matter of applying it. And so with me, the foundational meals are around 3 or 4 meals that for me are stagnant. They're the same every day. So mine's like overnight oats with protein powder, Greek yogurt with a little bit of protein powder, Ninja Creamy. Oh my God, guys, if you don't have one, have ice cream every night, and that is on plan. I make Jamocha almond fudge every night, and I absolutely love it. I don't care where I am, I'm doing it.
So you can have ice cream on your plan.
I make Ninja Creamy, so it's essentially, it's a protein shake, but because it's frozen and made into ice cream, it literally is that. And depending on where I am in my phase, like if I'm, for most of my clients, it'll be like, yeah, put some Greek yogurt, half a Greek yogurt, half milk, right? Because you need those calories. For me, if I'm competing or closer to a show, it's like, okay, now I am not using Greek yogurt. I'm just using the milk and I'm mixing with water. But that's just me. With my clients, I never put that pressure on them because what I want from my shows is different from what you want. For me, first and foremost, is what do you want this experience to be? Because for me, competing and winning, and not even that, but the process has been the most enlightening and empowering thing that I've ever done, including bariatric surgery, because it's given me the ability to look at any challenge in life now, any single challenge, and say, I can do this. It doesn't matter because, and I tell this to my daughter every time I compete. You look up on stage, especially if it's like a UFE, like when I did World Championships. You look up on stage at all the people up there. That's less than 1% of the people in the world who is in that body fat percent, in that fitness. Oh, I have a bow. That's nice. Pink's my color. That's D. But it could have been D who gave it to me. But it's less than 1% of the people in this world who will be in this physical condition. And I know what it's taken me to get to that. So whenever there's a struggle, whenever there's a speed bump, whenever there's a challenge, I never say, I think I can do this, or I hope I can do this. I know I can do it because I've had to do that over and over and over again. And I continue to get better and better each time. So I want people to feel empowered. I want people to feel confident. And honestly, that moment that it clicks with that client, and I've had it with every single one of my competitors at RBT, it is the most, for me, it's the most proud moment ever. Just to see that confidence come out. Because you worked, you've earned this, right? I absolutely love that part. I have no idea what the question was. We just sort of went on.
Hey, like I said, this stuff gets me going. I love talking about.
I know it does.
Working out.
This is
this is my zone.
I'm sweating just talking about this, guys. Like, I love it.
I just want to say something because we were talking about caloric deficits. So after that first week, and I dropped what 10 or 11 pounds that first week. I mean, again, it's water weight. And I'm supposed to take in 2,282 calories. What the? Like, this is crazy. And because I had lost so much weight in that 1 week, you were like, oh, you're still in a caloric deficit. And I'm going, are you crazy? It's the most mind-boggling thing because now I am completely unlearning this again. So it's
to me, it was
learning what your body really needs to do what you want, what you want it to do. So
to me, the most wild thing I learned coming along this journey and just weight loss, you don't need to starve yourself to lose weight. It's actually the exact opposite. You need to eat a lot to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's all about eating the right and the correct things for your body. And we're not all the same person. What works for you doesn't work for me. What works for him doesn't work for you. and it's finding that person to help you figure that out.
Yeah.
But with that said, we are at that halfway point. I think it's the time to do that. The next second most important thing into losing weight, is drinking that water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, E, in terms of like everyone's different, because like anyone who's worked with me knows that I'm a big data nerd. I talk about data so much, and I'm sure that people are tired of hearing me talk about it, but I base everything that I do on the data with you specifically as my athlete. So it's like 2 or 3 weeks. Let's track, find out exactly what your body's doing at this specific number, and then adjust if needed, right? And then once we find your baseline, then that's when we can stay and hold. And then if your body sort of starts pausing and stalling, then we can make slight adjustments again, right? But the best thing, and again, this is just sort of the way that we have to think, is if you're not losing weight at 1,400 calories, and I have you eating 2,000 calories, and let's just say you didn't lose weight, but you have so much energy and you feel great and you're sleeping better, is that not already a better trade-off? The fact that you feel better all day? And then if it is a matter of you're not losing weight, then guess what? At 2,000 calories, you're not losing weight. That is your baseline. This is what your maintenance calories are. So now all we got to do, I'm going to take off 150 or 200 calories from there, and we'll see in a week if you're losing. And then, ta-da, we got all the answers. Everyone on my team was always wondering for RBT, because we would always share what we're doing and questions and things. And people would always say, how come every single time you say you're going to make a change in your diet, you say exactly what's going to happen and exactly what you say happens? And I say, it's because data doesn't lie, right? Science is what it is for a reason. And so if you put good data, if you track, I tell people, don't lie to me. I'm like, let's just be honest. Like, I cheat. I just had what is it, Craig's cookie before I came online. But I'm gonna log it, right? I encourage people to enjoy things. That's why I have the foundational meals, because I want to eat dinner with my kids. I want to eat lunch with my friends. So this gives me the ability to scale back on certain meals because I know I'm fitting that in, right? As opposed to, I want you to eat rice, broccoli, and chicken every meal. Like, I hate the idea that in order to be successful with your sort of your body composition, you have to hate life. No, it's fun. Why can't it be fun? Why can't it be a positive thing? Why can't you love it? So that's my goal. I want you guys to have a positive experience with all of this, right?
Now, being an analytic guy, what do you tell because I was a bad example of it too. I was a guy that ran to the scale every single day. Do you think it's important for people to not only necessarily run to the scale, but do a full body analytic also to be able to get those marks of, hey, I might not be losing pounds, but I'm gaining muscle? Is it important to do things like this, especially when you're on a journey like this, to find a baseline also to help you understand what they need to adjust and things on that too?
E, you have all the best friggin' questions today. This is awesome. So if you ask Murph, who's on, he's in chat, he used to weigh himself every day. And I think weighing, or the act of weighing, means different things for different people. And so I was always a big supporter of, don't weigh yourself every day if it's an emotional thing, right? Like if it'll ruin your day, if that number is slightly different or higher than what you wanted it to be, then don't, right? So I was only a weekly weigher. But then once I started doing all the training and everything, I recognized the fact that I'm really looking at my progress with something that can change hourly. My weight can change hourly based on my salt intake, my stress levels, my carb intake, all of these different things, my sleep. And why should that dictate whether I'm successful or not, right? And so I started adopting the idea of averages. So, because like, let's just say weigh-in is on Monday, right? And Sunday night this week, you went out to dinner for your birthday. You stayed on plan, but you don't know how much salt a restaurant puts in the food. And then you weigh in and then all of a sudden you're 2 pounds higher. I don't want people to feel like that you all of a sudden lost or you're not doing well just because of something like that. So I try to work with people to understand that we want to look at averages, right? So I want people, if they are willing and able and comfortable and feel a healthy relationship with the scale, weigh yourself every day. And then I'll compare the last 7 days versus the 7 days of last week. And it doesn't matter if there's an up and down because it's going to be steady. And then if you lose, regardless of whether you went out to eat and they put salt in your food, then we know you're on the right track, right? And I find that for me, it helped a lot with me getting over the emotional part of the scale. And it ended up being more about the more data I have, the more I can make conscious and directed decisions that are best for me, right? So yeah, and we do measurements once a month, progress photos every week. And this is another thing for us. It's hard to sort of take pictures in your underwear. And I'm just like, just send, and it sounds creepy when I say it. I'm just like, just send it to me. You don't even have to look at it. Just send me all the underwear pictures. But like I have their husbands take the picture and send it to me. And I'm just like, don't even look at it. In 5 weeks, we're going to look at it and you will be in shock, right? Because the weekly progress photos, it's hard to look at it. And I have that eye because I'm constantly looking at things. And so I spend a lot of time with clients being like, do you see your silhouette here? Do you see the contours here? Do you see the way that you don't see a lot of texture on your skin here? And they're like, no. I'm like, it's hard for us to see that in ourselves, but I see all of these things, right? So I'm just like, 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the line, let's look together and let's celebrate that because you are going to be in shock in the change. And it's which don't screen record the one. Send me all the underwear pics. Yeah, screen record that. Send me them. I'll send you one back. It's fine.
So something that I've so obviously I'm going through all of this right now because I'm working with you, and I know part of the conversation that we had last week was the beginning of my journey. I always talked about how I was a daily wearer when the first year and a half, I was a daily wearer, and I preached the fact that it was a tool for me to track, where to adjust, what I did right, what I did wrong, and I would just use it. I was tracking my food, I was tracking, my weight, and I would use it as a tool. The minute I stopped using that, and I allowed life to kind of just go and be life again. The minute I stopped tracking everything, including my weight, is when everything went south for me, or it all went left.
Yeah.
The minute I started tracking my food again, and I started tracking my weight, I'm like, all right, now, again, it's all coming back to me. I know, all right, this makes sense again. But what I also noticed is, because again, we talk about all the calories and how much more food you're going to be taking in. I changed what I was eating, and I noticed that, again, a bad diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. I didn't realize that that satisfied feeling or that full feeling, I felt bloated. When I started eating the different foods and I started eating better, when I was tracking everything, that full feeling, that bloating was gone. I was just like, oh, I'm full. I don't feel like snacking right now. I can kind of just drown out the noise. And that was the most significant part of what I noticed that first week. Was I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel weighed down. As much as I could still move around with no problem, it was like I could feel my gut all the time. And that, it's noticeable. And it's just you feel uncomfortable. And all of a sudden you feel like, oh my God, I'm a slob right now. You get that old feeling. It's it's a familiar feeling where you just feel horrible. And I noticed that first week, it was just like, I don't feel like crap. Like gut health. I don't know if that's what it added up to. It was better. It just different.
So let's put this in perspective, right? So what is the macronutrient we are all scared of? Carbs. Where does fiber come from? Or what macronutrient is fiber? Carbs, right? And so oftentimes when we shy away from fiber or from carbs, we're also not hitting our fiber goal, right? And, you know, Murph and I, our relationship is built on shit, right? Because on the very first podcast that I was on Rob D's, or Dad Rob's podcast, and we were talking about bariatric surgery, and I was just like, yo, man, like, this digestive stuff is different now. Like, it hits different, right? But that's the thing. If we shy away from a macronutrient and a balanced diet, then we are getting rid of something super important. And, you know, this is very often what people feel. They feel like it's sitting in there. And again, if you don't have a lot of carbs, you don't have a lot of fiber, so you're not cleaning things out. But you also, and this is consistent with everyone. Everyone's like, oh, I don't have any problem with hitting my fat. I'm like, of course you don't. And I tell people, it's so weird, and I know people don't necessarily want to talk about it, but you can tell a lot about your diet and your health just with your poop, right? Right? Like, you just can, right? The texture, the buoyancy, everything, right? Like, you can tell our whole relationship is shit. Yes, that's exactly it. But you can, and it's important to really look at that, because it doesn't just, it affects how you feel. It affects the way you look. I always tell people, once you start losing that weight and eating properly, the first place you would notice it is your skin, right? Your skin is going to tell the story. It's gonna tell everyone that, hey, health is really a priority to me, because it really just shows all on that. And so, yeah, definitely digestive health is super important. Depending on what part you are in this journey, like sometimes I suggest digestive enzymes. Like, I take digestive enzymes because of the amount that I have to eat. And I find that very helpful for me, especially on days where I'm eating a lot, like when I was doing like my carb up before the show, because that was, don't run away, guys. I ate 1,200 carbs in 3 days. I hit a whole box of Frosted Flakes. It was glorious, and it made me want to not eat carbs for a long time. How good that
must have tasted.
It did. It tasted really, really good for the first day, and then after that, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to eat any more of this.
Great.
But yeah, exactly.
Now, I know we're talking about radical body transformation, and people may be fearful of stepping on stage and things like that. They're like, oh, I'm nowhere near ready to do this, or I'm not going to get to where I want to be in the time, because I know it's coming up. It's still almost a year away. It's June 12th of next year. What is an average prep time for someone to do this show? And what would you be able to say to someone who may be on the fence of wanting to do it, not wanting to do it? What would your words of encouragement to them, and how long should they prep for a show like this?
That's a great question. So this is the way I sort of like to look at it in regards to prepping for a show. So, you know, when I started working with people for radical body transformations, a lot of people were reaching out because they wanted the full year to prep. Now, depending on the condition you're in, it could be anywhere between, you know, like I prepped for one show, for one of my shows in 7 weeks. I wouldn't suggest people do that, but it was a last minute decision. Generally, it's anywhere between a 12 to 15 week for your cut if you are in a low enough body fat. But with a lot of us, there's a variety of places there we are at. And with a lot of people, you know, originally they're just like, yeah, I want to work with you for 6 months. I'm like, cool, we can cut body fat for 6 months. But the question is, what else do you want to do, right? And for a lot of people, it's, okay, well, I want to build muscle and I want to do this and I want to do this. I'm just like, you know, I have my whole year and a half planned ahead of time in terms of the different mesocycles that I do for my training and my diet, because I plan around it. And so I know that I'm doing a cut for X amount of time. I'm doing a lean bulk for X amount of time. And so oftentimes with a lot of the people I'm working with, it is a year ahead because that prep might look like we're going to do a lean bulk for some time. We're going to have to do cuts for some time. And if it gets too much for you, we're going to scale back, up your calories, and we're going to do maintenance for 3 weeks. Because, you know, again, it's about the experience for my athletes. That's what I want to do. But in terms of the idea that, oh, I don't know if I can get to that because of the time. So 53 weeks in a year. The deficit I plan for fat loss with most of my clients, most, not all, is about 1 pound a week of fat, not of everything, of fat. So potentially you can lose 53 pounds of fat in that year. And so, you know, if you're looking at radical body transformations next year, at this point, okay, so you can lose 48 pounds of fat. That's a lot of body mass, right? Like that's significant. And so when I ask people, what are your goals? And they're like, oh, you know, they're at like 170 and they're like, I think I would like to get to 160. I'm like, I can get you to 160 by Christmas. And then what do you want to do for RBT? And they're like, really? And they're just like, can we sustain that? My 1 pound a week is conservative. We can go 2 pounds a week if you want, right? We can go 2 pounds and then 1 pound. We can change things up based on how you're feeling and what you're looking for. So it is all very custom. I wouldn't suggest going too much more than 2 pounds a week. I do want to make sure you maintain your muscle mass. Again, we know how hard it is to build up that muscle mass. But in the event that you do feel like it's a bit too much to get to where you want to be for RBT, luckily, 2027, there might be something happening in our community. Let me drink some water for this.
I've heard some rumors.
Do tell.
Yes.
Do tell.
The rumors are true.
Ooh.
I am going to tell you. So seeing as I received a lot of hate every time I competed in one, my goal as a coach is to always give people the best prep experience. I want people to love it because I know so many people absolutely hated the whole idea of competing because prep was so difficult and hard and miserable. That's not been the experience with my athletes, and I never want it to be. And I don't want people who compete to all of a sudden get hate because they had bariatric surgery. I want a safe environment. So for JBY 2027, Trans4m Bariatric Bodybuilding, with the waiting table, with Just Be You Awards, with our Sleeve Life podcast, we will be bringing people from surgery to stage, which is our slogan for Trans4m Bariatric Bodybuilding. And we will be hosting the very first bariatric community bodybuilding transformation showcase, which is going to be a safe place for anyone in our community who had weight loss surgery or who was on GLP-1s or who are just going along with this journey with us. It's a safe place for them to get up there on stage, gain that confidence, gain that amazing experience with a ton of people who are like-minded, know what you're going through, and we will all celebrate together. It's going to be pretty damn amazing. We've worked a lot with venues, and it's going to be like real deal shit. Like the makeup and hair and tanning company that did radical body transformations, I've already talked with them. They're going to be there. I am working on them. If you want to get your hair done and your makeup done for JBYs, they're going to be there too. They can do all that. If you're still nursing that hangover because you were drinking with us at 3 a.m. before going to the gym, because E had me knocked out.
Yeah, I'm about to say, he invited me to come to a bar and meet him at the bar. I go to the bar. He's nowhere to be found.
No, because I fell asleep on the toilet because I was super drunk. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're going to have this amazing show, showcase all of the efforts of the people in our community, and again, just give them an amazing experience. I know that Murph from the waiting table will be up there. I know that almost all the people who are doing RBT with me or my clients, they will also be doing the JBY show, the showcase. I am opening this up to not only our community members, but I'm opening it up to the people who support our community. So the surgeons, the therapists, the dietitians, everyone, if they want to be part of this, we are going to find a way for them to be a part of this. It's going to be amazing. You're going to see Mel up there. Mel's going to be killing it. We're going to see all the people up there. And I encourage everyone to keep their eyes out for that, because it's going to be an amazing experience and event for our community.
And I know we're coming up on the top of the hour, Tony, and you're going to try to rush, but I do got two more questions I got to ask you. I know you said you retired from the stage and everything like that, and I know that feeling of being on stage and how that feels, that pump of energy. How much gratification are you taking away from seeing your competitors go on stage, hit that stage, and be successful in winning? Do you get that same rush of energy? Is it more gratifying to see that happen?
Oh my God. So if you ask anyone, it's funny because a lot of people at RBT, they had asked me, because my team got me like a robe that said Proud Mama, because literally I was a proud mama, and every single competitor was like, are you even competing? Because I play mind games too, so I didn't actually take off any of my clothes until I went up on stage. I didn't want anyone to see what I looked like. But I had it on, and I was kneeling beside the stage, screaming my heart out for every single competitor. Not even on our team. Our team, of course. And so like it was rough because I had planned a karaoke night, and I couldn't sing because I couldn't even talk because I had lost my voice so much from yelling and cheering them on. And they're on stage and I'm cheering them. And then I'd run to the other side of the stage to give them a big hug. Honestly, like I love being on stage and I still do, but seeing, my athletes experience it and seeing the pride and the confidence in them as they get off. Oh my God. Like it's number one to me. I would give up competing myself if it meant I could see people in our community get this every time. I love that. And again, it's not even about winning. It is what you want it to be. You let me know and we'll get it, right?
And my last question for you. We always hear people on these shows talk about their post-show meal. From all the prepping and doing all that post. What was your go-to cheat meal post-victories?
I had cheat half a week, so I had it was everything, and here's the thing, like I was strategic about it. I told my wife Wednesday is the day I will eat any and everything up till the end of the day on Wednesday, and then on Thursday I'm back on. I'm tracking, I'm doing all the things I need to do. I'm prioritizing fiber because I need to get everything out. Like when I tell you by the end of the day on Wednesday, I had no six pack. Like you couldn't see any abs at all. And on stage, like I'm full six pack, everything was gone. My daughter's like, you look pregnant. And I gained about 20 pounds. But I also knew that once I started going to the bathroom, a lot of it was water. Because I even say this to a lot of the clients when they're like, oh my God, I gained like 3 pounds. I'm like, in like 2 days. I'm like, let's do math. 3,500 calories for 1 pound. In those 3 days, did you eat 10,000 calories above your maintenance calories? They're like, no. I'm like, then it's not fat. It's water, right? So facts don't lie. And so I knew that. And I was just like, all right, that's my thing. I had the pizza. I had the burgers. I had all that. I will say my clients were a lot better because they didn't deplete the same way I did when I compete, which is great. And we'll have that discussion with every athlete. What do you want to do? Are you in that position to do a whole peak week? Or are we just going to say, because with one of my clients is just like, you're stressing out. Let's just enjoy. Let's bring your calories up to maintenance. Let's not stress. Let's have a good time. And they went up feeling great and happy because you put all the work in. You've already friggin' won, man. Like, look at where you're at. So
you stepping on stage is a victory all in itself. Because
100%,
not many people
man.
will ever do that in their lifetime.
Yep.
Tony, see, I got my last 2 questions in, Tony, and it's just now 6 o'clock.
You got them in. That again, an amazing live. This is so. Rob, I just want to let you know that you have been the guest for the 75th episode of the Bari Experience. So,
Woo!
75.
Thank you. Like I said, it's an honor. It's an honor.
And it has been a grind because, again, I have never, ever missed an episode of this. I've been in this box or another one of these boxes over here for 75 episodes. And it makes this even more difficult for me to tell you guys that some recent things that have occurred lately, and I think the grind that we've had going on for the last 7 months for us is, I think we've hit a head where we can't push any further along with this. This is making it very difficult for me to say this, but next week will be the last episode of Bari Experience. It was not an easy decision to come to. This platform has done so much for not only myself, but I know for Biggie, Corby when Corby was aboard, for Rab. This was a way for us to give a voice to the men in this community, something that Rab and I saw we were lacking at that time. And over the year and a half that we have done this, over the course of the 75 episodes that we've done, I've watched the men's community grow immensely. I have met so many amazing people in this community. The amount of men that are out there sharing their journeys and talking about their experiences has increased tenfold. I mean, when we started this platform, our demographic was exactly what the bariatric community was. It was 80-20. And I remember sharing this not too long ago that we had gotten our male viewership up to 31%, which, again, when you're hovering between 19 to 20% in the community, and you've increased that over the course of a year, that's amazing because the visibility of men they're coming to the platform. And again, there's more men sharing this journey, and we've accomplished what we set out to do. And I couldn't be any more proud of what we have done in the year and a half that we have done this. I mean, again, this created opportunities for all of us. I got to speak on stage at the Bariatric Retreat. I got to present awards at the JBY Awards. I actually got to win a JBY Award. I've got to be on the waiting table. I've had a chance to be on OSLP. I've met so many amazing people just through this platform. And I will forever be grateful for the experiences that I have taken from just being here in this community and being on this platform.
And I know this is not easy for you to talk about, Tony, and things like that too. But I also do want to thank both you and Rab, because it was about almost a year ago that I came into this community and I found BME. And what you guys have been able to do for me and help me along on the road, I will forever be grateful to you guys. And for everybody that's in the chat and things like that, hey, just because the podcast itself is going away doesn't mean we're not going to be there to help and support the men of the community. We love this community to the fullest. If you guys got a question for us, you needed someone to lead you in the right direction, feel free to reach out to us. Still reach out to us. We're still here to help the men in the community. It's just at this time, the podcast itself is what needs to go away so we can also work on ourselves as an individuals so we can help more individuals in the community also. So like I said, Tony, thank you again for everything you have done for us. And like I said, it's going to be a celebration. We do have one more show next week. We do want to invite everybody in the community, anybody who supported us along the way, to come join us. It's going to be an open panel. Come up there, tell us a story. Tell us how BME has impacted you, what we've done in your journeys, and celebrate with us.
If you want to ask any questions about, like, again, our viewership has always been mainly, the females in this community. If you've had questions for us that you want to ask, come up. I am inviting all of you to come share all of your experiences through this platform. If you want to ask any questions, obviously there's going to be a fine line with certain ones, but I want to be able to have all of you guys up here to say thank you for the support that you have given us over the last year and a half. Again, I would have never experienced all the things I experienced through this platform if it wasn't for all of you. And I know Biggie, I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I know Rab feels the same way. The same thing with Corby. It's just
BME would not be BME without all you fans that are here. It would just be us, just three individuals talking to the air. Yeah. So this is not an easy decision to make. So again, we encourage all of you guys to hop on next week. Come celebrate with us one last time for Taco Tuesday.
So, Biggie, you want to send us off?
But thank you guys all again for hopping on for our 75th show. My name's Biggie.
Just want to thank Rob for joining us. We appreciate all of the support you've given us over the last year and a half, and our friends over at the waiting table. Thank you. I'm still going to be working with you behind the scenes on my transformation, and I appreciate everything that you do for us. Biggie, thank you. I enjoyed our time together. I'm glad that I get to spend another week with you next week. My name is Tony D, and this has been our Bari Mill Experience.
Peace.
Okay. See you next Tuesday.